So what I'm here to talk about today is a movement. TEDx has been an inspiration for me for the last 10 years. I actually met Sharon Lyle in Qatar when we were all gathered together worldwide to gather us and put us together face to face. And it was then that I realized that TEDx has given me the tools to take that next step. Myself, who I am, I'm just a curious being, really passionate about creating community, really passionate about bridging cultures and understanding what to do next. And it's been an interesting journey because TEDx has actually given me the information, the impetus, the courage to take that next step without really knowing instinctually what's next. So today I'm going to talk about this movement I'm beginning now, and I'm going to ask for your participation at the end. So please bear with me. So I'm going to talk about the Green Guadalupe. And what I'd like to talk about is how TEDx has actually helped me take that next step. How it's given me a roadmap for grassroots action. What do I do next? A lot of it has come from inspirational talks. I have just a few, there's many, but in the next few, I'd like to recall Derek Silver's How to Start a Movement. When you find a lone nut doing something great, have the guts to be the first one to join in. And that's what I'm going to ask for you today. We also have Atheism 2.0. I was lucky enough to see that Alain de Botton in TED Global 2012 when he utilized the mechanisms behind religious movements and how they are useful for organizing people. For art, for example, art should be didactic. It should help teach people. It should educate. We should have collaborative gatherings and information to help move people and somehow to give some sort of moral compass on how to lead one's life. And then Rabbi Sharon Brous, who I absolutely loved, she spoke at TED Women in 2016 with a talk, It's Time to Reclaim Religion. And she asked the question, can we reinvent religion to meet the needs of modern times? So often, things like religion are actually thrown in to cite what's wrong with the world. And she states maybe it's actually religion that can be part of that solution. And by religion, I don't mean organized religion. Well, I do mean organized religion, but I do mean taking a different facet in how we as humans congregate. And especially right now, how are we taking the world into our own hands? And finally, Kirby Ferguson. I sometimes DJ, and so I'm very curious about how contemporary music is often made by taking the old, remixing it, transforming it somehow, and making it somehow palatable and more listenable to contemporary society. And this is where the idea came to do the Guadalupe Verde. What do I mean by that? So it started about 10 years ago, actually, this month. In the town that I live in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico, there are a lot of processions. And I'm fascinated by the way that the people walk piously for miles and miles and thousands, walking piously in this sort of procession where you see people of all ages really having fun. Oftentimes it's the only time of break that they have from their working lives. Some of them are going down on their knees and going very, very humbly towards said saint. And as I walked there, it was about 2 or 3 in the morning, I remember, and there were taco stands by the side of the road, and there was a lot of people there. And as I saw them leaving and walking away, I saw a sea of plastic being left on the roads. And I thought about the tremendous disconnect that occurred between the earth and a belief of faith. And I somehow thought, how can I bring that back? How can I remix the existing imagery that's utilized so much in this Latin American country and throughout the world, actually? And how can I make this somehow significant, respectful, but significant to bring consciousness towards the earth? So, as with the Derek Silver's, it takes one nut. I kind of kept this on for about 10 years. And I thought, yeah, who are you? What, you want to dress up as a saint? Or what are you going to do? You're going to really offend a lot of people. What are you doing? And yet I knew that if I wanted to reach a certain population, this education could and should come from this kind of symbolic imagery. And so my lone nut, the first one that helped me, was actually a Jewish friend of mine who's an architect and regenerative systems thinker, also a TEDx speaker, Elias Katan. I was telling him about this problem. You know, we sometimes sit in these circles talking about what can we do to the ecology? How can we teach people to have different habits, especially here where sometimes they don't even read. And I told him about this idea, and he in his office came up with this imagery that to me when I saw it, it was the yes. It was thank you very much, because with this I have something now which somehow symbolizes the ecology. It has the ajolotl, it has the monarch butterflies, it has the quetzal, and somehow it's something that iconographically speaking can resonate with people and begin to give them a sense of ownership of the earth, of stewardship. So with that came other ideas. The Green Guadalupe movement started moving as a symbol of love, of art, of hope, action, and having the audacity. Last night we were talking about audacity. Who am I? Well, who is anyone? It's time now to act. It's about community, and it's about a deep love and reverence for nature. And so I sometimes call myself an activist, but more than an activist, I'm an artivist. And by utilizing different techniques, we want to reach people through this audacious character. So in performance art, I've done this. Also through some of the street art that we have. This last year, we normally do a Day of the Dead festival. This year we decided to utilize street art to help draw attention to some of the endangered or nearly endangered species. Here we see the imperial woodpecker from the state of Chihuahua in one of the most impoverished areas of San Miguel. We also went to Tulum and did beach cleanup. And again, through festivity and through congregation, through party, yet we gathered a good amount of beach cleanup. And this and other organizations that are working in Mexico are really doing positive change this way. Through gatherings and festivals as well. This was 3,000 people that were gathered for a yoga festival in the President of Mexico's military field. And it was a beautiful disconnect again to have these singing bowls and meditation and children and families all in this place, giving a new light and a new hope. Again, remixing what some places are. From Rabbi Sharon Brous, I took this inspiration. It said, so too we learned that our world is on fire. And it's our job to keep our hearts and our eyes open and to recognize that it's our responsibility to help put out those flames. So that led me to about a year ago, I found myself in Baltimore. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning. I was doing a residency for an MA I'm completing there. And there, just like a light, I got this dream. And in this dream, I shot up out of bed because there in the distance, I saw fire. I saw fire, and it was burning down these forests. And I saw next to me the water rising, and it woke me up as I kind of like saw the water and the oceans and everything else sort of like starting to come above me. And I got up out of bed, and I went to this long hallway with an ice machine and this candy thing. And I went and I sat down from 3 to 5 in the morning. And kind of like I read about Jimi Hendrix wrote Stairway to Heaven, it just came to me. And I thought, Fuego en la montaña, that's fire in the mountain. Fire in the mountain, that's a Grateful Dead song. Grateful Dead song, wow. I wonder if I would have the audacity to rewrite this. Well, I didn't have a choice. I just shot up out of bed, and I got up, and I wrote down these words. But instead of them being in English, they were a call to action, which I wanted to give my fellow Latin Americans a song to hang on to be able to at least begin to share, and let's start this change. So what I'd like to do now, and if you will join me, is to ask you to please clap and sing as we sing Fuego en la Montaña. Similar to Dora the Explorer, let's have a moment now where I will repeat. Does anyone here know the Grateful Dead? So, if you know this song, it's called Fire on the Mountain, Fuego en la Montaña. And what we'll do is I'll ask of you to say one phrase, and that is Fuego, Fuego en la Montaña. Okay, great. And now we're going to do the hands. Fuego, Fuego en la Montaña. You guys are awesome, Dallas. Thank you. So we're going to do it. When I say fuego, you guys sing. So here we go. Guerrero de luz, no te dejes caer. La tierra nos llama y ¿qué vamos a hacer? Tú eres el cambio que tú quieres ver. Enciende tu centro, enfoca tu ser. Creemos más puentes y no una pared. Sembremos semillas para florecer, porque hay fuego, fuego en la montaña, fuego, fuego en la montaña, fuego, fuego en la montaña. Pachamama le advierte a la humanidad los asaltos que atacan a la biodiversidad. Enciende el fuego de tu corazón hacia un mundo consciente y con compasión. La acción es sagrada, es una oración, un soldado de amor para la evolución, porque hay fuego, fuego en la montaña, fuego, fuego en la montaña. Thank you very much. You did awesome. So I'd like to close with this. My action is just one person. I encourage you to lead by example. I encourage you to think up whatever way in your community, whatever it is that you have a spark to do, find that lone nut that can follow you, and be unafraid to reach out and be unafraid to disrupt. It's time now. The earth is calling us, and I thank you so much for being a part of this change. Thank you.